minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Welcome in to Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, SiriusXM channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, live from Chicago each and every day, broadcasting from the great city of Chicago. On the air until 3 Eastern. You can join the show. You can call or text us at 310-840-4910 on a football Friday. A football Friday as we head towards the World Cup final on Sunday. Abdalla, all calls welcome as always on a Friday with Bleck and Abdalla at 310-840-4910. But yes, we get things started today looking ahead at Sunday's action, 3 Eastern, the World Cup final. Argentina and Spain will face off. And really, like, I don't need to really break down the actual match. I think we can throughout the show. But in reality, when we look at the conversation, like, do you think that the World Cup will have a lasting impact on Americans? Because, like, that is what so much of this event that takes place every 4 years. And the fact that the U.S. had a hand in hosting the event this go around, and the final would be played in New York, New Jersey Stadium on Sunday. MetLife, for those who are not following FIFA's rules.
Yeah.
I don't know if there will be necessarily a lasting impact on the U.S. hosting with Canada and Mexico the World Cup, other than this has been a great tournament. It's been fun to watch.
So yes and no, right? Like, it's a weird question, I think.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think that like direct impact, right? Like the MLS was back yesterday, and it's weird to have the MLS back while the World Cup is still going on because there's some. I mean, look, the best player in the world technically is an MLS player,
Yes,
right? Like the greatest player of all time is technically an MLS player, in Lionel Messi. And he's probably going to take some time off from his MLS team. Like, let's not get it twisted. It's not like he's going to go right back to Miami and just start playing right away. Like, the dude's going to get a little bit of rest here. Okay. And so I don't think, and you might see like a little bit of a bump of people watching and maybe going to see these MLS teams. I know that, Chicago, unfortunately, here in the city that we're in, I can't see anything again because the Canadian smoke is still here, and it led to the cancellation.
They're smoking us out, man.
The Friday of the Fire game where Lewandowski was supposed to make his debut yesterday, and that was supposed to be like this. It's this huge get for the Chicago Fire, and he was supposed to make his debut yesterday, and like that is unfortunate for the Fire, and like he'll just make his debut in whenever they play next, right? So I do think that like the ultimate impact regionally here in the US, I don't know if you're going to see that. However, you did see like a week ago, the Bundesliga did just sign a new deal with the USA Network where it makes it easier to watch Bundesliga here in America, right? Like you're seeing it get easier and easier.
Well, it was available here before.
I understand that, but they're making it easier. Like it's an extension of the deal, right?
No, the difference is it won't be buried on ESPN Plus.
Exactly.
So ESPN had the previous contract with it, and they never showcased the games on any of their traditional channels. They buried it on their streaming service.
That's my point, is that it's on TV now. You don't have to have an extension of a Plus network to watch it. You can have it if you have cable, you can just watch it if you want to. So now, if you want to watch if you're a fan of the Bundesliga, you can watch. If you want to watch the Premier League, it's available. Like if you want to watch these players that you've watched during the World Cup, you can find them. I think that it's easier to find these players that you've seen in the World Cup and watch them as they go back to their teams and to their different countries and play. And I think that that's what you might see happen here. In 2 years from now, we're going to get the Euros. And I think that because of the impact that you saw of, Erling Haaland over here and what you've seen from these teams and the fact that Spain's involved and what Kylian Mbappe did for France and how far France got and losing and the way England played and all that, I think that because the games were on at a time where everybody was able to watch and the ratings that it did, maybe the Euros does well here next time. And if you see the Euros ratings do well here, then I think it's made more of an impact. We see that Americans want to watch competition. I think if you see that translate to the next tournament, not necessarily the World Cup, but the next tournament of the Euros, then it's made an impact. You're not going to see it to the MLS. Will you see it in the next World Cup when it's in a different country and you have to make somewhat of an effort to actually watch these games? Yeah, then it means something, I think. But until then, I don't think we'll actually know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have an answer until we go to the future to look back on the actual impact that the World Cup had in this country on sports fans. I do think, right, if you're asking if the MLS will be a rival to Major League Baseball, that's not going to happen. But I do think the impact for local teams to get more people in their stadiums to watch MLS soccer, that could possibly be a wave that they could ride here at the end of this summer off of the World Cup. I think where you'll see the largest impact is probably the day-to-day conversation that casual sports fans now have a baseline understanding of some of these other stars that you mentioned. Erling Haaland, right? Like people know who he is now. Mm-hmm. He's been a champion for many years with one of the best clubs in the world for many years. Yet in America, he was a fresh face, right? Like it's one of those things. Like, it reminds me of, remember when Simon Cowell came over to America to have American Idol? But before, overseas, he was already successful in his own right. But then he's on a TV show that takes the world by storm here in America. And all of a sudden, Simon Cowell is a big deal. It's like the guy had a career before he was on TV on American Idol.
Yeah.
It's just Americans only want to watch the things that are right in front of their faces, right? So, like, unless it's our thing, people find it, I find people having a hard time latching on. That's why, like, to suggest more people will watch the Bundesliga, the German professional league, I don't think we're really going to see that. Maybe you'll see, and like, here's a part of it. The Premier League has had ratings go up the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there are sports fans in America that like watching sports on Saturday and Sunday mornings before NFL football and college football take place. And so you see those numbers because there really is not a lot of crossover with the timing on these matches taking place overseas and then the start of your American football day, whether you're a college fan or an NFL fan, because you can really wake up 6 a.m., 7 a.m. on a Saturday or a Sunday in the fall and the winter, and you can watch soccer and then roll that right into kickoff, 1 Eastern, NFL Sunday. And then you're off and running. So, like, I feel like there is an appetite for live programming, live sport. And when you see the best players playing at the best level and then competing, I think that's something that easily is translated. I think in this country, a lot of casual sports fans, though, struggle with the concept of how European soccer is laid out. And what I mean by that is, like, the best team, the champion of the league, is the team that has the best record. Right. And then they're also usually playing in other competitions while the league is taking place. And they're all taking place together at the same time. Usually those other competitions take place on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the weekends are usually for the main league competition. So I do understand why some people in this country may not get behind it. The other aspect to it is like this whole concept that you and I have been dealing with our entire lives. You know, we're in our early 40s, and for over 40 years, the conversation in America about whether or not the U.S. men's team will ever win the World Cup has been the same story. Each and every cycle, it's the same thing. Hype going in, disappointment during the tournament, and then outcry, rage, confusion, and how do we fix the U.S. men's national team immediately after the disappointing output in the World Cup? And I don't know if there is an easy solution. I think it's one of those things where we don't produce enough top level players in this country. And that's why, like, the other teams have more talent. We have more people. We just do a poor job of finding 30 individuals who could become great soccer players and then get them to train overseas with those major clubs and then eventually get them to play.
Yeah.
For the country. I mean, in the perfect example is something that you've said to me throughout this World Cup is we struggle as a country finding 32 starting NFL quarterbacks. And it's true, right? Like, there are not enough starting quarterbacks in the NFL for every team.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Jacoby Brissett trying to hold out for more money because he wants starter money, even though he's a backup. And they're a team that's likely to lose and draft a quarterback in the future anyway. So, like, if you have that going on in professional football, the sport that is our pride and joy, like, I don't know if there is a solution for men's soccer.
Well, I think that the solution for men's soccer is not a U.S. men's soccer problem. It's a perception of America of what U.S. men's soccer is. And I think that that's the conversation that fans of the U.S. men's national team need to come to terms with. You're not going to be playing ever on this Sunday. You're just not. You're not. I'm sorry. You're not.
It's sad, but it's true.
You're never going to be Spain. You're never going to be Argentina.
But like, what's funny about it is when the tournament started, when we started this over a month ago, you and I were trying to prep people because when the hype started going after that first win in the group stage, we're like, listen, if they can get to the round of 8, that would be a major, major success for the U.S.
Yeah, this isn't me saying, look, I don't care if LeBron joins the Heat or not. They're not winning a championship. This is not that. This is completely different. The U.S. will never be on par with Spain, with France, with Argentina, with Brazil, with even England. Like, those are the teams that you will not touch. Now, they should have.
I throw the Germans in there as well.
Listen, they got farther than the Germans this year.
Yeah, once.
They qualified. The Italians didn't qualify.
All right, so there you go. We're better than the Italians.
You should.
And we beat the team that was in the way of the Italians getting to the World Cup. Bosnia was the team that got in over Italy, and we beat them. So
you should have competed with and beaten the Belgians. Like, you should have done that. But to say that it's at a certain point, this team is ever going to field and have enough players that hold American passports, that were either born on American soil or on a U.S. American base somewhere else, or have a parent that, like, do people understand why Flo Balogun is able to play on the team? Because a flight attendant wouldn't let his mom fly because she was too pregnant. The flight attendant didn't think his mom was fit to fly because she was too pregnant to get on a flight. So she had to stay overnight, and guess what? She went into labor, and that's the only reason Flo Balogun is an American citizen. That's the only reason Flo Balogun is able to play for the U.S. men's national team. By luck, by sheer luck. That's it.
No, that's smarts. That's something that we should be doing.
Pre-thinking?
Yeah, that's something we should be doing
that's
at the
some Minority
airports.
Reports.
Yeah, that's something. That's something
pre-cog.
We should be doing that, right? we should check that out and be like, oh, hold up. Your both of these two individuals are extreme athletes. Oh, okay, let's hold them at the airport. Let's see if we can.
I've been to the future.
Let's see if we can get a baby here.
We're using Terminator technology to go to the future to see these athletes, and we're holding their parents at gates.
But it's true. And when you look at the team, this was the most talented U.S. men's national team we've ever seen. Look at the where they come from. Most of the players, like there's like 9 players on the team that their parents either were involved in the armed forces, or they've had some
They're Army brats.
situation. Yeah, exactly. So they grew up elsewhere.
Yeah,
but they were either born on an American Air Force base or something like that's what. And it's not a surprise that that's the case.
Of course, it's not. And they often choose to play for the Americans,
which is fantastic.
Which is great because they can't get playing time with another team.
Well,
and that's
or Flo Balogun is on the record talking about the great pride he has
absolutely
with the fact that he is American.
Yes.
Even though he has ties to other places.
Absolutely.
And he wanted to represent the United States. Now, that's from the player. Abdalla's stance on it is not that wrong, because if he was in a different spot, he probably wouldn't get playing time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because what was it? It was the English team, right?
Yeah.
Who was the other squad for Flo that he could have been?
Team.
Like, he came up through their academy.
Yeah.
And like he would have been the 6th or 7th frontline player. Like Marcus Rashford, who is a star in Europe, doesn't really play for the English squad.
Well, there was a player on the Australian team that has an Italian passport, and the Italians didn't make it. So he was like, well, I'm going to play for the Australian team.
Yes.
Because they made the World Cup. So I'm going to play for them. So players can do that. Like Erling Haaland could have played for the English team because he has an English passport. Also, he has dual citizenship. Yeah. So he could have played for the English team.
Yeah,
but
Flo Balogun was on the England team. He was on the under 17, the under 18, the under 20, the under 21 national teams. But as you start to look at the players who are above you, I want to believe that Flo Balogun wanted to represent the United States. But also, to Abdalla's point, look at all the different stars that England has on the front line, and he would have never made the field.
Here's a perfect example. Iowa's never going to win a national championship game.
College football?
College football. Never going to win a national championship.
Indiana just won. I don't know if you can use this example.
No. Indiana didn't do anybody any favors. We talked to Josh Graham the other day about it from ACC Media Day. Indiana didn't do anybody any favors. Indiana's a bad example because Cignetti's going to be the next Nick Saban. And trust me, Indiana didn't do anybody any favors. Man. Indiana didn't do anybody any favors.
No one lost more than Indiana, and now they're champs.
No. There are certain schools where you know your place in your conference.
Okay.
The U.S. men's national team needs to know their place in the world.
Yes.
And more importantly, I think they know the fans need to learn their place, just like college football fans know their place. You can have a nice season, you can make a nice bowl game, but you ain't never making it to a national championship game. And you just got to learn that, and you got to accept it. And Americans, we're a championship or bust culture.
Yeah.
That's just what we are.
Yes, we are. I love you straight up attacking Iowa Hawkeye fans.
That's
today
the only
here
one
on
I
the
could
show.
think of in like
You're
the Big
essentially
Ten.
saying Iowa has no hope.
How about this? Arkansas's never winning a national championship.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
I would say the same for Illinois.
Illinois probably
Illinois
never
good,
winning a
but
national championship.
Illinois is not going to win the national title.
Arkansas's never winning.
Iowa. I love that. I think fans from around the country who want to go after Abdalla for calling out their team for never being able to win a national title, I think today's your day.
Or the opposite. Call in and self realize yourself and be like, my team's never winning, and I accept that.
Hi, my name's Doug from Arizona. I would like to tell you that
I know my
ASU's
place.
never going to win a championship.
I know my place.
You can call the show at 310-840-4910. It's Bleck and Abdalla hanging out with you on a beautiful Friday on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Yesterday on the show, we gave out our before training camp NFL playoff predictions. So we listed off the teams that we think will make the playoffs this season in the NFL before training camp starts. There are 4 teams that are very obviously missing from our list. I want to talk about those teams. Are we overlooking specifically Kansas City and Green Bay? We'll talk about that coming up next. International soccer is down to its final matches. DraftKings has you covered for every single one.
The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. New DraftKings customers sign up with code B&A26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days.
That's code B&A26 for Bleck and Abdalla 26 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings. Predictions involve risks of loss. Availability varies. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get $50 in prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
The NFL is almost here. Training camps open on Wednesday with the Cardinals and Panthers. The countdown to kickoff is on your home for the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Yesterday on the show, we gave out our before training camp playoff predictions in the NFL. At training camp, teams are going to start reporting next week. July 22nd, the Cardinals and the Panthers will be the first two teams to report. Everyone will be in camp by July 28th. So we're just days away from the start of NFL training camp. And Abdalla and I looked at the two conferences and we listed off the teams that we think will make the playoffs today, how we feel about it today. So it's our before training camp playoff predictions. This is what I have in the NFC. I did not go with seeding. I just went with here are the 4 division winners and then the 3 wild card teams for both conferences. In the NFC, I have the Rams, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers as the division winners in the NFC. My wild card teams, 49ers, Eagles, Bears. When I look at the AFC, I have the division winners as the Bills, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Jags. My wildcard teams, the Bengals, the Texans, and the Broncos. And then, Abdalla, you had for your, these are the before training camp begins playoff predictions from Bleck and Abdalla.
Yeah, for the NFC, I had the Cowboys, Lions, Bucks, and Rams winning their division. My wildcard teams, Seahawks, Commanders, and Bears. And then for the AFC, Bills, Ravens, Texans, and Broncos winning their division. And then for the wildcard teams, I had the Bengals, Chargers, and the New England Patriots.
So really, when we look at the AFC, the team that we differ on is New England. I don't have New England in the playoffs. You have them as a wild card team. The actual order and who wins a division is a little bit different between the two of us in the AFC, but it's the same teams. In the NFC, I have the 49ers and the Eagles getting into the playoffs. You have Washington and Seattle. It's a little bit different, but we both had all 4 of those teams are wild card teams.
Yeah.
We don't have those teams winning divisions. So we agree on the 4 teams in the NFC to win the division. So when we look at that, there are 4 teams that are left out. And I wonder, are we overlooking these teams? And those teams that jump out to me, it's Minnesota, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City.
Okay.
I think 2 of them specifically, fans for those 2 teams, Green Bay and Kansas City, would argue that they are in their, quote, championship window. Right? Like, I think for both teams, that should be the goal for this season. Minnesota is a team that they get good quarterback play. I could see the Vikings making that argument as well. Then, of course, Pittsburgh getting Aaron Rodgers back. Mike McCarthy is the first-time head coach for the Steelers. Expectations are going to be elevated in Pittsburgh as well. Are we overlooking anything with those 4 teams or perhaps anyone else who we don't have in the playoffs coming up this season?
So I think that we are overlooking a couple of teams. I think that we're overlooking the teams in the NFC North. I think that we're overlooking the Packers a little bit. And I think that we're overlooking the Vikings a little bit. If you go to DraftKings right now, promo code BNDA26, shout out. The Packers right now to make the playoffs are minus 150. The Chicago Bears to make the playoffs are minus 108, almost even money. They're well below the Packers to make the playoffs. They obviously have the Lions making the playoffs at like minus 180. They think they're going to win their division. I think that a lot, and the Vikings are below that. They're plus money to make the playoffs. But I think that a lot of people that I've heard talk to, a lot of analysts, a lot of former coaches and GMs that have been talking and previewing this season, and I think that we might be on the opposite end of this. A lot of them have been saying that their pick to go, not necessarily from first to worst, but to regress record-wise are the Chicago Bears. And that would mean that someone else would have to win that division and possibly also make the playoffs as a wild card team, because the Packers made the playoffs last year as a wild card team.
Yeah.
So like the Lions, we have the Lions winning the division and we both have the Bears making the playoffs. So someone else, the Packers could make the playoffs as a wild card team. They could also win their division, something Jordan Love has never done. So I think that because the theme is, from what I've been hearing from these analysts, is that the Bears could be better, but their record might not reflect it, because Caleb Williams could be better. The offense could be better, but because the defense relied so heavily on turnovers and led the league in so many different turnover categories, but they had 0 pass rush and added 0 to the defensive line and are just basically relying on getting healthier on that front and Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, being better at coaching those guys up, that it won't turn out the same unless they can replicate the turnovers. So the idea is that maybe we're being too high on the Bears returning to the playoffs, and that one, the Packers could return to the playoffs because Jordan Love is good. And yes, I know Micah Parsons is not going to be there for maybe half the season, and that will affect the defense. But also, I think we're also discounting that the defense is so strong for the Minnesota Vikings and that they're going to get much better quarterback play out of Kyler Murray, and what Kevin O'Connell is going to get out of Kyler Murray with one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in the league in Justin Jefferson, and what that combination is going to get and what they could do in possibly also being a wild card team if the Bears and the Packers don't make the playoffs.
There are two things to the teams that I have making the playoffs and those who didn't. That here's the thought process behind it. With Green Bay specifically, I'm concerned about Micah Parsons and his health and when he will be available this upcoming season. So if Parsons is ready to rock and roll by week 7 and the Packers are above 500, yeah, they can make the playoffs. I don't know without Micah Parsons that they can do that. They have 3 divisional games in the first 7 weeks. I'm not sold that that's the case. And that's why I'm looking at Green Bay today and thinking, okay, they might miss the playoffs because they might be working against, trying to make up ground from a tough start without Parsons in there. I then look at Kansas City in the AFC. And usually the tiebreaker I consider when I do this stuff is I look at quarterback, right? I think a lot of people do that. And you try and see okay, best quarterbacks in the NFL, they usually rise to the top. It's rare that you see a team at the bottom of the standings with a top 5 quarterback who wasn't injured for the season. And last season with Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs were a 500 team. Now they lost out to end the season. They lost 6 straight. Mahomes was injured. Comes back this year, expected to be healthy to start. So when I look at the rest of the conference, I have teams making the playoffs. I have teams winning divisions that I know have lesser quarterback play in the AFC. Most notably, Houston, right? I have Houston as a wild card team. You have Houston as a divisional winner. I know the division winning aspect of it isn't a direct competition to Kansas City. With that said, I have Denver ahead of Kansas City, and I like Mahomes better than Bo Nix, both coming off injuries. But I have the Broncos making the playoffs and the Chiefs not making the playoffs. So, am I trying to think too much about this, or should I just look at it and be like, you know what? Kansas City, great coach, great quarterback. They'll figure everything around that out, and they'll still make the playoffs. Am I overthinking the Kansas City fact that they'll miss the playoffs in 2 consecutive years with Mahomes in his prime, with Andy Reid still as the head coach? Am I outthinking myself with this at this moment?
I don't know, because look, I understand that you can look at the tiebreaker being quarterback, but again, someone has to catch what Patrick Mahomes is throwing them. And I don't like their weapons. You've got, yes, Kelsey is still there, but this could be his last season. He's been a shell of himself the last couple of years. He has not been great. Also, their secondary is not what it used to be. They traded away Trent McDuffie. They tried to draft his replacement. Is that going to work? Are you going to be able to replicate the production that you got from Trent McDuffie with a rookie in year 1? Or is this going to be a team that everybody knows you can just throw on? And guess what? You've got Bo Nix and the Broncos, who just added Jalen Waddle, and you've got Justin Herbert, who just added probably arguably one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, who's not a head coach anymore. So to me, you're asking a lot, and I understand. I am not going to count out Kansas City until the little X is next to their name. Yeah. But at the same time, it's hard for me to put them into the playoffs with all of these other things stacked against them in their division, because the other 2 teams ahead of them have better weapons, have better defenses, and right now have everything else going for them that the Chiefs just don't, besides Patrick Mahomes.
I also have in both conferences. So these are our before training camp playoff predictions. I also have in both conferences the representatives and the Super Bowl champion and the teams that played in the Super Bowl both missing the playoffs.
See, that's where we differ a little bit. I see a little bit of backslide because it's obviously hard to go back to back. I see a little bit of sliding back. I see a team in the Rams that was so close that I think that they get the one up this time on the Seahawks and they can make it.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks still making the playoffs. And I see the Patriots coming back down to earth a little bit. But again, like, you still have a great head coach in Mike Vrabel. You still have a great offensive coordinator. You add A.J. Brown to that with Drake May, who has a go-to number one wide receiver now. I think that it'd be tough for them to completely flat out miss the playoffs this year. I think they can still get in as a wild card team, but Josh Allen and the Bills are just, I think they're that much better.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. We continue the football conversation with 32 questions in 32 days. Buffalo, the Bills are coming up next. Are they the clear favorite to win the AFC? One person on this show thinks so. We'll talk about that next.
The world's biggest sporting event comes down to one match, and it's on America's soil. After a month of drama, only 2 countries remain with the World Cup championship at stake. Spain, Argentina. The final is Sunday afternoon. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
We were just talking about the teams that we think will make the playoffs with our before training camp playoff predictions. There's a team that we both agree on, that team will win the division, be one of the best teams in the AFC. That's the Buffalo Bills. It's now time for 32 questions in 32 days with the Buffalo Bills.
32 questions in 32 days. Bleck and Abdalla discuss every NFL team's biggest question heading into training camp. Today's team, the Buffalo Bills.
Put it in Allen's hands, ask him to make something happen. He scrambles, nobody open, backs up, heaves, end zone. He threaded it through there for a touchdown to Shakir. How in the world did he get it through?
Today's question, is DJ Moore the missing piece for Joe Brady and Josh Allen?
DJ Moore now joining the Buffalo Bills. He was very good with the Chicago Bears. Before he was with the Bears, he was with Carolina. He's a stud wide receiver. My criticism of his game is just that at times it's a little lackadaisical out there on the field, doesn't complete routes often in big spots, and that's always been a critique of mine being a Bears fan. But I think for Josh Allen, this is actually going to be the missing piece. Because here's the thing with DJ Moore, he's a tough player. So he's a tough player, and if he's focused, he can have a great season for the Buffalo Bills, and they are one of the favorites in the AFC.
Yeah, they're my favorite in the AFC. I think they're the best team in the AFC. I think that they get to, if I had to pick a Super Bowl representative from the AFC right now, it would be them. I think they have the best quarterback in the NFL right now in Josh Allen. The other team that you think is the best team in the AFC in the Ravens have the 69th best quarterback in the NFL, according to the rest of the players in the NFL. So, I mean, who wins out in that argument? I think it's me as to who has the better team.
What are you talking about?
The Ravens and the Bills. I mean, if we're comparing, one has the best quarterback in the NFL, one has the 69th best quarterback.
Based on the NFL players ranking?
Yeah. We'll see where Josh Allen is.
All right.
We'll see where Josh is. We'll see where they rank him.
Continue on.
We still got to get to the bottom of what the players are doing here and why they did that, because more like Trevor Lawrence is ahead in the new rankings. Like, what are we doing here? Anyway,
that's what I'm saying. They think he's a gimmick, man. I'm telling you.
DJ Moore, I think, and when the Bears traded him to Buffalo, I like the move for both teams. I thought it was great for both teams. They got a second round pick back in the Bears, and the Bills got, I thought, a go-to receiver and I don't think he's like a true number one guy. Like, I'm not comparing him to Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying he's going to be the best wide receiver in the NFL, but he's a yards after the catch machine. He's a tough, hard-nosed runner when he gets the ball. You can use him in multiple ways like the Bears used to do. I love this addition for the Bills. I think he's a perfect guy that fits this system for Joe Brady. I love this, and I think that this is not necessarily what puts them over the rest of the teams in the AFC, but I think this is a perfect addition for what the Bills needed for this offense and what Josh Allen can get the most out of DJ Moore. And I think it's a great addition to this team so far.
Yeah, we'll see if DJ Moore can live up to the potential that he has. He has never had a season where he's had more than 8 touchdown receptions. The most yards he's had in a season is 1,300 yards. Last season with Chicago, 17 games played, he only had 50 receptions. 50 receptions for 682 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, he has made big catches in big spots, but the player that was in Carolina, I think a lot of people assumed he would be a guy almost getting 100 balls caught a season, upwards of 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And DJ Moore has never really turned into that player. He's a good wide receiver. But like, if you look at just guys who are available right now, like Stephon Diggs is a better wide receiver than DJ Moore. Stephon Diggs is available. And just look at the stats. Stephon Diggs has produced.
Yes.
DJ Moore has taken a step back the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, but I think that's more of I don't want to necessarily say a system with the Bears, but I think that the Bears, it's an addition by subtraction thing. I think we knew that when the Bears drafted Luther Burden, that's basically DJ Moore's replacement. And I don't know if it's Ben Johnson didn't like DJ Moore and if they just never got along, or he wanted a younger version of DJ Moore, or whatever was going on there. But for some reason, the fit just was never there. And I don't know if he and Caleb Williams just never got along. Whatever it was, I think that DJ Moore and Josh Allen will have a much more productive relationship than he ever did with Caleb Williams.
So we will feature 3 teams with 32 questions in 32 days today. We just talked about the Buffalo Bills. Later in the show, we'll also hit on San Francisco and Houston here on Bleck and Abdalla. It's now time for Around the Track NASCAR Fast Lap Preview presented by NHTSA. When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit. Keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you, paid for by NHTSA.
Sunday night, Chris, under the lights, the Window World 450 taking place at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Josh Graham country, Carolina.
Oh, Josh Graham.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, maybe he'll
right.
be there.
The first to our left, third row, Josh.
Josh Graham, Westwood One Sports.
Yep, Josh.
Jim, in Amelia Island, you were speaking about Clemson, Ole Miss.
All right, we don't have time for
we don't
ACC
have time for that.
media
We don't have
days.
time ACC media
All right,
days.
back to NASCAR. Yes.
It's the first time these drivers will be racing for a Cup Series points on this track since 1996.
Wow.
How about this for a flashback? Jeff Gordon against Dale Earnhardt he edged him out by under 2 seconds.
Easy.
Now we've got Denny Hamlin, who comes into this race with the series lead by just 24 points over Tyler Reddick. So this should be a great race to watch. The Window World 400 in North Wilkesboro Speedway on Sunday night.
And there you go. Around the Track NASCAR Fast Lap Preview presented by NHTSA. When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you, paid for by NHTSA. Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Last night, I saw the Odyssey.
Oh, look at you.
The Odyssey. I went and saw the Odyssey last night.
Look at you.
I know.
There's before Odyssey and after Odyssey.
I feel great, man.
AO. How do you feel? AO. How do you feel? AO.
I will say this. I'm guessing people will say this is one of the great cinematic achievements in history.
Oh, my God. So you're forever changed.
No, I'm saying like I'm guessing that's how people will respond to it. It was I had high expectations. It hit them out of the park. It was great. Christopher Nolan is an incredible director.
Okay, better than Inception.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm also guessing people are going to debate his best two films being Oppenheimer.
Okay.
And then this.
So better than
The
Oppenheimer.
Odyssey. I liked it better than Oppenheimer.
Okay. Better than Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's that good. I think the only film of his that I enjoy more is Dunkirk.
Okay. How was Matt Damon?
Incredible.
How was the Holland?
I don't like him.
Wow. What?
I don't like Tom Holland.
Okay, stop. Set your personal biases aside and rate his.
Let me finish.
Hold on.
Let me finish.
This is like a sports conversation. I don't care if you like him or not.
Yes.
Set your personal biases aside and rate his performance.
I was gonna finish by saying I don't like him as an actor.
Okay.
He was great.
Okay.
He was very good.
All right.
In the film. And also, like, I can't spoil anything. This
I'm not asking you to.
The story's been out for almost 3,000 years.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to spoil anything.
If you're unaware of what the Odyssey is,
watch the Simpsons episode.
Well, there's that. Read a book. I don't know.
I don't think you have time now to read the book. It's a big book.
It's pretty easy to figure out what this film is about.
How was the dude from The Bear? That's like in the.
Oh, great.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's also in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, it's The Wolf of Wall Street too.
Yes.
Yeah. He's that guy. He's in a bunch of stuff. I don't know his name, but he's
John Bertheim or something.
He's good,
Barenthal
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Bernthal.
Yeah.
He's good.
Okay.
He's good.
All right.
He's really good.
I've heard some stories about how Christopher Nolan was trying to like break him during the Trojan horse scenes when they were in the water because it was like ice cold.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're not going to break me, Nolan," and he wouldn't get out of the water.
Well, a lot of the film is shot with like real stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you can tell. Like it is not a green screen superhero movie. It's a real movie with tactical.
Well, I saw an
items.
interview with Matt Damon and saying that like Christopher Nolan even though he's this great, huge director, shoots all of his stuff like it's an indie film with no plan. They're like, all right, we're going to get in the water and we're going to figure this out as we go along.
Yeah. They get everyone in the spot and then they go from there and figure it out. Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. I loved it. I actually can't wait to see it again.
Oh.
It's a 3-hour movie, which you know me. If there's an element of walking,
you're lucky that this came out during baseball season because otherwise,
I mean, I don't like long movies like that, but this was snappy, and I would say the final like 50 minutes go by in a flash. The third act is outstanding.
Yeah,
it's incredible for a story that we all know. We all know the ending.
Assuming you paid attention in school.
Well, yeah. Well, which was tough for us sometimes.
Well, especially us. Yeah.
I pay attention to this. There's a Cyclops. I don't know. It's great.
Yeah.
So I saw it. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see it again.
Again?
You gonna see it
again?
Yeah. Maybe again. We'll see. We'll be back here on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck, along with Adam Abdalla, live from Chicago on the air until 3 Eastern. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. You know, moments ago, we were just talking about the fact that I saw the Odyssey last night. Mm-hmm. It's released wide release today, and people are waiting in line. You see IMAX theaters are booked solid for like a week. People want to see this movie, the Christopher Nolan movie about the Odyssey with Matt Damon. I want to go on the record. I told you moments ago that I thought it was great. I want to just get on the record because we all have to be aware of this weekend. When you come across somebody who has seen it and they tell you that it wasn't good, they're just looking for attention.
Wow.
I just want to put that out there, right? Because like if you read the reviews, it's a great movie. It's not just one person's opinion. If someone's out there this weekend, they see it and they're like, yeah, it wasn't this, and they're just talking bad about it, they're looking for attention.
Wow.
That's what that is. I want to get that on the record now.
Okay.
If someone doesn't like it, they want to look at me.
That's
situation.
how it is. A look at me. A look at me.
Speaking of LeBron James.
By the way, hey, Bleck, real quick, at disguy2622
we had a
in
good
the YouTube
transition
chat.
there. You jumped on the good transition.
I'm sorry, but I had to get this in before you moved on. At disguy2622 wants to know, did you see it in true IMAX fashion?
No. Standard def. I know what the top of the boats look like. I know what the top of Matt Damon's head looks like. I'm good.
We had an argument that Chris isn't going to drive to Woodridge, nor is he going to drive to wait for a long time to see a movie.
No.
Standard def, regular.
No, I like a regular.
Dolby Digital?
Yes, I think we had surround sound.
Surround sound?
Yes. The theater was shaking. It's a loud movie.
It's a loud movie.
It's a very loud movie. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't care.
Yeah.
The way I'm gonna watch most movies is at home anyway, so it doesn't bother me. Like, would it be cool to see it on IMAX and 70 millimeter? Yes, it would be. It would also be cool to sit courtside at the NBA Finals. It would equally be as cool.
It would be equally as cool. Yes,
but I will also enjoy watching the finals sitting at home as well. So standard def, I in and out last night, 6:30 show by myself, locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Here we go. We were ready for the Odyssey. And then I said, if someone doesn't like it, they're doing it for attention.
Always doing it for attention.
Like LeBron James.
All right.
And yesterday, he was at the Fanatics Festival.
Yes.
He was on stage with Tyrese Halliburton. They were recording a podcast in front of a lot of people. And LeBron made a comment. You know, he didn't give away where he's going to sign.
Of course he didn't.
Yeah, because we got to drag this out. It's LeBron James. He does everything for attention. He said to Tyrese Halliburton that if you look into the clues are there on where he's going to go for his next team. As we continue on here on Bleck and Abdalla, as it's just another day with the LeBron James free agent watch. Yes.
Who is he?
LeBron James.
Will he build another super team?
Gotta start with Superman. Man, I could have used him on the Cavs.
How many weeks will he stretch this?
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
LeBron Watch 2026 with Bleck and Abdalla.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents.
So the update today is that you can look for the clues, and the clues are out there on where LeBron will sign.
Let's see. It was Colonel Mustard in the library with the Miami Heat.
No, I don't know.
No, okay.
I don't know.
No. That's what it seems like it was going to be because I think Pat Riley yesterday said that he gave his pitch. Pat Riley and the Miami Heat said that he gave his pitch yesterday. And Giannis said that he hopes that LeBron makes the right decision and picks the Miami Heat. But I don't, what? You've been laying breadcrumbs? What? We were supposed to go on a scavenger hunt for you?
Well, you know what this is. We all know what this is. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. LeBron James is sports Taylor Swift. It's what he is. Not authentic. Everything is manufactured for a gimmick or a bit or for something else.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that Taylor Swift is not a great recording artist. She is. LeBron James is a great basketball player. He is. But everything, he's laying breadcrumbs. What is this? He's waiting for a new album release? This is what Taylor Swift does. Everything about her life is a breadcrumb for something else to then later be featured. LeBron James is the sports version of Taylor Swift.
Well, but with Taylor Swift, though, at least that's an album rollout plan. Like, that's part of the plan. You know what I mean? That's how artists roll out albums. Like, that used to be a traditional album rollout, right? You would You would post something, you would delete your Instagram. Like you would clear your Instagram and you would post just one picture and it would be like, ooh, this person deleted all their pictures and they posted just one picture. They're going to put something out for like a single and then you would release that single and then you would blah, blah, blah. And that would be traditional album rollout stuff. Like that's how artists used to do things. And like, that's what Taylor Swift does. And like, yes, it's a great comparison because who are the two most isolated people that like you don't hear or see anything unless they want you to see it?
Yep.
It's Taylor Swift and it's LeBron James. It's perfect. It's a perfect analogy.
So there is no surprise to me that he's at this festival on stage with the cutesy, well, I know, but I haven't told, let's not talk. Hey, Tyrese, let's not talk about it. We said backstage, we're not going to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to be fun. That was the quote. He knows and it's going to be fun, but he hasn't made up his decision quite yet.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what is the point of this? You had Adam Silver yesterday speaking to the public, who seems a little annoyed that this is still going on because he wants to release the schedule. The NBA schedule is not out, and Adam Silver is pointing to LeBron James and his not making a decision to why the NBA schedule isn't out yet. Because they want to know what team LeBron's playing for so then they can set up the national TV schedule.
Makes perfect sense because you want opening night, you want your marquee games,
exactly.
You want
Christmas
all of that
Day,
stuff.
Martin Luther King Day, all of these different events throughout the NBA season
because
they want to know where LeBron's playing.
Just like the NFL schedule, guess what? You get a little trickle. You get a little drip drop. You get a little trickle of the Christmas Day games. Here you go. You get a little trickle of the opening night. Here you go.
Yep.
You get a little trickle. Here you go. And then you get the full release. Here you go.
Full stream.
Full stream.
Now, the NBA release is not the same social conversation we have with football.
No.
Right? Like the NBA, like, sure, you would like to know opening night, Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King Day is a big holiday where the NBA plays games during the day. So that's always one to circle. When the All-Star break is taking place. And then the end of the season. Everything else on the NBA calendar, for your specific favorite team, yeah, you might want to know where your rivals are playing or when they take a long road trip or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the same to look forward to as a sports fan.
Yeah.
Because like the random dates early December, people don't care. You just follow the team week to week, right? Like you're not going to be like, oh, well, December 14th, my favorite team's playing Houston.
Yeah.
This is a big, wow. Like, what a matchup on that date. Like that's not how you operate with the NFL, with the NBA schedule.
No.
The NFL schedule, that's how we operate.
Yeah.
We try and plan, and people are booking trips, and people are trying to figure out how the season will play out, when the bye week is and all that. So, I understand why Adam Silver's annoyed. And I think everyone's, quite frankly, annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing the four teams that have been rumored are annoyed because they want to set things in motion for their team. If you're Cleveland, Miami, Golden State, Minnesota, they want to know if LeBron's in the mix. And if he is doing this game where he's playing all four, and he's not telling anyone, but go look at the breadcrumbs. Look at how fun we are. Look at this. It's not an album release party. Listen, T-Swizzle, you're not getting married at the Garden, shutting down all of Manhattan so you can have your secret garden wedding to Travis Kelce to try and get him an acting gig. Like, what is this?
LeBron's actually been in movies, though, so
he
already has an acting gig. I do think that at a certain point, the problem is LeBron is still good enough where teams can't remove themselves from the situation. Like you can't get a team. You're not going to get a Shams report that's like the Philadelphia 76ers have removed themselves from the LeBron conversation. Like they're not good enough to say, like LeBron's still good enough for teams to be like, no, we're good. Like LeBron still brings enough to the table on and off the court that you have to keep playing this game. But the other part is Philly and I think Cleveland are still good enough to just say, yeah, whatever, take your time. I don't care. Like Philly's good enough to just say, whatever, come here or don't. That's fine.
Ooh, I think Cleveland is I think Cleveland is like kind of banking everything on the idea that LeBron's going there.
But I think that they might be.
Philly,
but I think
Philly to me feels like the team that could be like, yeah, all right. If he chooses to go elsewhere, we're still good enough.
I think Miami and Golden State are the ones that are like, please, we need you.
It's
Otherwise,
Golden State is the most desperate.
Oh, for sure.
Of the four.
For sure. Golden State is hands down. And then Miami's number 2. I think Cleveland's number 3. And then I think Philly's just like, all right. I mean, if you want to, sure. If not, I mean, we're kind of good. If you don't, we still think we believe we're number 1, but they're probably 1B to the Knicks 1A in the East. So they're fine. They're already better than Boston. So I would say that they can compete. It'd be a great series for them to compete with the Knicks.
So we really don't have an answer today. It is July 17th. And LeBron James is leaving breadcrumbs. Have you picked up on any of the breadcrumbs? Any of the posts? I know one of the posts that was going around was that he's on a boat drinking wine. Does that tell you anything? Does that
he's already
rule
been
out?
on boats.
Well, he's creative and he's leaving breadcrumbs though, Adam. He's got all these creative breadcrumbs that he's leaving out there for people to connect the dots. It's a mystery. Where's LeBron gonna go?
You know, Chris.
Yeah. What?
The great Danny Glover once said,
"Oh,
I'm too old for this." Blank
from Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, like I don't care. Just tell me when you tell me, man. Like I'm not going on a scavenger hunt for like it's a kid's.
But he needs the attention.
Like it's an 8-year-old birthday party.
He needs the attention. That's
good for
why.
Him. Good, then have all the attention you want, man. But I'm not doing just tell me when you tell me.
Did you also see that Time Magazine has listed LeBron James as their cover person and listed him as the athlete of the century from Time Magazine?
A little early for that. I mean, we got a lot of century left.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a lot of people who have been great athletes in the last 26 years. I mean, I guess I feel like LeBron James over Tom Brady, Messi. I mean, we're on World Cup fever, right?
Yeah, but Time is an American publication, so I don't think Messi was ever in consideration. Tom Brady's a good one, but
I think Messi's on the list.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to be number 1. I think he's top of mind because of the World Cup. Brady's a good one. Oh man, I'm trying to think of who else would have been up there.
The headline of the article, How LeBron James Redefined the Modern Athlete. The 100 most influential people in sports in 2026.
I think that's a good one. I mean, I can't.
LeBron James. You think his PR company paid for this?
I think that you, again, much like we talked about 15 minutes ago, take your Tom Holland bias aside. It's not a bad selection. It's not a bad selection.
I'm not saying it is.
Take your Tom Holland bias out of this. It's not a bad selection.
I don't like him as an actor.
Okay.
He was good in the Odyssey.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay. And you don't like LeBron James.
But he's a great basketball player. Hall of Fame basketball player.
This is not a bad selection.
Second greatest basketball player of all time.
There is not an athlete, I don't think, that has meant more to their sport in the last 20 years than LeBron James.
Ooh, what is Tiger Woods' run?
It started when did it start?
I think it started in the 90s, but most of his run was the early 2000s, right? Or am I misremembering that? I feel like doesn't Tiger cross over? And that's why I said Tom Brady to start.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tom Brady, to me,
he won the Masters in 97.
Yeah.
2001, 2002, 2005, and then again in 2019.
So in his 15 major wins, Tiger Woods.
They're all in the early
He had one.
There's only one after 2000.
There's two. He's only won 2 in the 90s.
I understand that, but there's only
13 other majors were won starting from 2000 on.
But there's only one after 2008.
Okay.
And LeBron has
So
been
those
doing
those years don't count.
But I'm saying, but LeBron has been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah, but I'm responding to your exact comment saying he's done more for his sport in that time. I don't think you can find an athlete who's done more for his sport than Tiger Woods has done for golf.
I understand that, but I think when Time is looking to feature an athlete of the century, they're also looking at off the field factors.
What are you saying? Driving record?
DWIs,
Yeah,
DUIs, all that good stuff that Tiger's been a part of. So
Man, sometimes he likes to
again,
go to
again, much like Taylor Swift, LeBron James has been isolated, and in an era where everyone has a phone and everyone records everything, LeBron James has a track record without any demerits on it.
Yeah, and it's also like the article in kind of the point out like behind the scenes. The article does talk a lot about his activism and his schools that he has opened.
Yeah.
Which give him credit for that.
Of
No
course.
doubt. I have no problem with that. So yeah, I mean if that's what the selection is, then okay. I guess so. Sure. He's the athlete of the century.
I understand you don't like it because you don't like LeBron James.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm just giving you the information. What I don't like is he hasn't picked a team. That's what I don't like.
What would have been great is if in a random paragraph, he would have announced it in that article just to see if people read it. If people read the article. That would have been the best part, is if buried deep in a paragraph somewhere, someone would have said in the article, and I'm going to be joining the 76ers. And like that would have been, and no one has picked up on it yet, proving that no one reads the article and no one has read Time.
No one reads anything anymore.
Well, of course not. So that would have been the best part. And like we've gone on the whole weekend and was like, guys, I announced a week ago in Time.
I already told you guys.
I already told you.
The clues were there.
He shows up to the 76ers
Clues were
facility.
there, man.
He's like, guys, I announced a week ago. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You can watch the show on YouTube at Bleck and Abdalla Show. Raj is a fan of using AI technology for ridiculous reasons. And Raj is telling me that we should go to YouTube right now to see the latest in AI slop that he's created. What do you have there, Raj?
Right now on our AI slop, we have an image of Bleck and Abdalla following LeBron James's breadcrumbs, trying to figure out which way to go. My favorite part of the image is it created a sign that says "this way" with an arrow pointing
the wrong
kind
way.
of the opposite direction that you guys are going.
I think that is perfect for this show.
That is perfect for this show.
I think that is exactly correct.
And I think if you follow my eyes, I'm pointing at the bread, but I'm looking right at the mushroom.
Well, yes, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want to go after the mushroom.
Yep.
You want to have a day.
Yep.
You want to enjoy yourself.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's why, as I'm pondering the large portion of the sandwich that the breadcrumbs came off of.
Yeah.
I'm looking for some butter to put on that bread.
Yeah, you are.
Because I enjoy bread. All right, that's great, Raj. Appreciate that. You can go to our YouTube channel, Bleck and Abdalla Show, to watch the show daily right here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. As we hang out with you until 3 Eastern, we will continue to preview the World Cup final, Argentina and Spain. Who's the key player in Sunday's match? We'll talk about that coming up next. International soccer is down to its final matches. DraftKings has you covered for every single one.
The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. New DraftKings customers sign up with code B&A26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days.
That's code B&A26 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in in Kansas. Bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involve risks of loss. Availability varies. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get $50 in prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
The All-Star break is over, and baseball front offices are deciding buyer or seller. Is your team just a couple of moves away from a World Series run? As the August 3rd trade deadline approaches, the answers are coming into focus. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910. Chad in California from the 209 texted the show. Abdalla, he says, the only team I want to see LeBron James on is the Del Boca Vista Shuffleboard Squad.
Miami.
Yeah. So there you go. There's Chad in California. We also had the story yesterday about the Florida lady with the license plate that was randomly given to her from the state of Florida that said essentially squeeze ass. The old lady, yes.
I don't think a woman that lives in a senior community that's going to be 77 years old next month will be driving around with what this plate has to say.
Squeeze ass.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So Del Boca Vista, it's essentially where she's at down there in Florida. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports live from Chicago. Now we go on out to parts unknown in Colorado. That's where Raj Sharon is.
And the next question comes from the line of Raj Sharan with Westwood One. Please proceed.
Please proceed. On a Friday, it's time to play Fill in the Blank with Raj. What's up, Raj?
What's up, guys? It's Fill in the Blank Friday, and it's a fun Fill in the Blank Friday. We got some sports, we got some other stuff. So we'll get through the sports stuff so we can get to fun stuff. Let's start off in sports. All right, we are rounding up we're rounding out the World Cup on Sunday. I want to know the key player in Sunday's final. Who's the key player, Abdalla? Fill in the blank.
The key player is FIFA. No, I'm not going to do that. It's
what's stopping you now?
Well, it's got to be Messi, right? It's Lionel Messi. He's the best player in the world. He's the best player left in the World Cup. He's going to win the Golden Boot. He's already got the tiebreaker with assists, even though he's tied with goals with Kylian Mbappe. So if he gets another goal, he just wins it outright. But even if it goes to the tiebreaker of assists, he's going to win it regardless. So he can create, he can score. If Argentina has a chance in this game, they're an underdog in this game once again, like they were in England. It has to be on the best player in the world to perform on the biggest stage under the brightest lights, and that's exactly what he's done every time they need him in stoppage time when they're down. Every time they need him, Messi has stepped up. So it's him.
Yeah, I could go a lot of different ways. Abdalla, I'm surprised that you didn't say Bieber. He's performing at halftime.
I'm ready. Should I go for it?
I thought your guy, Justin Bieber.
Stay tuned for Fill in the Blank. You're previewing the question.
I see the question. So
all right.
I saved it.
Okay,
I'm ready. Should I go for it?
I'm surprised you didn't say him or Alexi Lawless, which is going to be your key player to
the
watch.
MVP of the tournament's really been Zlatan. So.
Sure. To answer your question, Raj, I could be super soccer nerdy with this, but it's Messi. I agree with Abdalla. I could give you a bunch of different names for players that are on both of these squads, but it's going to come down to the greatest player ever. And if he is able to create some magic, Argentina will win back-to-back World Cups. So it's all about Messi. His ability to create, his score goaling abilities, his set pieces. It's one team that is surrounded by one player, and it's all up to Messi. And he is the most important player on the field come Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, over to the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo was introduced in Miami, and Pat Riley said Giannis ranks, quote, right at the top, unquote, of players Miami has brought in, and specifically referenced these names: Alonzo Mourning, Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Jimmy Butler. High expectations. So I ask, Giannis, blank, live up to the expectations of Heat culture? Bleck?
Okay. So here's where I'm going to give you the answer based on the names they gave. Everyone on that list, except for Jimmy Butler, won a championship. I'm pretty sure, right? Wasn't Alonzo on that Heat squad? Was he a backup on that Heat? Maybe Alonzo Mourning didn't win a championship with that. Maybe he was done playing by that time. But Shaq won, Wade won, LeBron, Bosh, they all won a championship. Butler didn't. So I
Alonzo
think,
was on the 2006 team that won a title. So Jimmy's the only one. And he made it to a final.
Do I know my NBA or do I know my NBA?
There you go.
You know your NBA?
So based on that, I think he will, because I don't see Giannis winning a championship in Miami. But if Jimmy Butler is a part of that group, getting to 2 finals, then Giannis certainly can be a part of that group. No doubt. And Giannis is the better player. I'm not even doing that debate. Giannis is a better player than Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So he should be a part of that group. No doubt.
I will say that Giannis will live up to Heat culture, because Heat culture for the last few years has been making the play-in tournament and fizzling out. So that's exactly what they'll do. Raj?
All right, guys.
Well done.
Well done. LeBron James, we've talked so much about where he's going to go, but I want to know how we're going to find out. Are we going to find out on his podcast? Is it going to be on Rich Paul's podcast? Is it just going to be a Shams tweet, or is it going to be an Instagram post? We talked about it. You called him, Bleck, the Taylor Swift of sports. Yeah. Everything is inauthentic and scripted. So with that in mind, I want to know, LeBron's new team will be announced via blank. Adam Abdalla.
Man, I've been thinking about this for a while, and like how he can orchestrate this, because Shams, I don't know how Shams is going to find out, whether it's like one of his sources, obviously, or Windhorst is going to find out through one of his sources, or if LeBron just says it, or if he just tweets it out, 76ers, or just puts it on Instagram, or just puts out like a logo on Instagram or something. I don't know. Or if it's literally on the podcast. Like, I don't think he's going to do another decision where he has like a whole like thing with a show and all this kind of thing.
Tablecloth t-shirt.
I think the odds would say podcast. Like his podcast with Steve Nash. I think the odds would say that podcast would be the way he announces it.
Do we remember, how did he announce he was going to the Lakers? I feel like
that
was
was
just
the
a
most
news story.
subtle one. Everyone just kind of assumed it. It never got reported. And then he showed up at a summer league game in Lakers shorts. And that was sort of the confirmation of, I guess he is going to the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm going to go. It would be fun to have like something that's that adds to the story of LeBron that irritates all of us. But I think it's just going to be a news report. I think, someone's just going to report that LeBron's agreed to terms with name the team.
Yeah.
And then, if it's Shams, then he'll then credit Rich Paul for giving him the information. Yeah. That's what they do, which is weird. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a news announcement. I don't, maybe at most, Raj, maybe it's an Instagram post.
Could see it being an
like
Instagram
a thank
post.
you to LA or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he has the big production in him anymore.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. We'll find out. All right. On to box office talk. We love box office talk. Right. We love the movies. Look, there's no doubt that the Odyssey is getting fantastic critical acclaim. It's getting great reviews from audiences. It's like at a 97% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Chris Bleck was singing its praises earlier today.
Stamp of approval. I'm putting my stamp of approval on it. Yep.
Always equate to people showing up and watching a movie, i.e. Fast and the Furious. Okay, so with that in mind, the Odyssey blank become Christopher Nolan's best non-Batman movie at the domestic box office opening weekend. Will this become his number one domestic box office movie that does not include the Cape Crusader? Because that's kind of cheating. What do you say, Bleck?
For reference, how close did Oppenheimer get to that?
So Oppenheimer was 82 million opening weekend. So that is the number to beat for the course of this question. You have to frankly like you have to almost like double. I think it's around 150 when you start getting into the Batmans. So it's not going to hit that. But can it top the Oppenheimer 82.4 million opening weekend number?
Yeah, I think it can. I think it can top the Oppenheimer because I think there's more elements that people will find appealing to this film. Plus, there's larger star power in this film. The leads are Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Tom Holland, like Robert Pattinson. Like those are some of the heavy hitters in Hollywood that kind of touch a lot of different, fan bases.
Yeah,
I guess is the way to say that.
Sure.
So I definitely think it's the case. And I'm looking right now, the theater that I went to yesterday to see the film, I just looked up there's an IMAX showing of the Odyssey coming up in an hour. The only seats available there are 2 on the corner in the front row and then 1 on the corner in the front row on the opposite side. We're in the middle of the day on a Friday. I know it's a Friday. Maybe people are taking off work a little early to go see the movie, whatever it is. But I definitely think that this is going to pass Oppenheimer.
By the way, you were asking for the reference, Chris. All right, so Oppenheimer, 82.4. The top 2 Christopher Nolan movies are The Dark Knight Rises, was just under 161, and then The Dark Knight was 158. So you see the gap, which, by the way, if you ever want to know how just Joel Schumacher killed the Batman franchise, Batman Begins, the one that started it, was under 50. So it's it made less than Interstellar. He had to build the Batman brand back up for the second and third one. Abdalla, what say you? Keeping in mind, Chris has been talking about IMAX viewings. When you need to get big box office numbers, you need repeat viewing. You need people to go multiple times in a weekend to hit that. What do you say?
I think it will, just also because adding into the people that are in it also is hot this weekend. And despite it being hot, nobody wants to be outside this weekend because half the country is covered in smoke this weekend. The entire East Coast is covered in smoke. Half the Midwest is covered in smoke. Yeah, it's dissipating today, but it's supposed to come back this weekend. I can't think of a better way to get out of the smoke than sitting in a theater for 3 hours. So breathing in air conditioning.
A little free AC. Let's
filtered
go.
air. So it's going to be hot and humid here in Chicago. It's going to be hot and humid all over the Northeast. It's going to be smoky over the Midwest and the Northeast. So I feel like that's going to lead to a lot of people seeking out some free AC and a 3-hour Odyssey screening.
And I'm guessing, Raj, a lot of people will go see it a second time. That's what I'm guessing. After
when you
want to
get to those numbers, you need it. You need people to see it multiple. But the fact they're doing a lot of these 24-hour showings will help because you'll have the Uber fans that will have an opportunity to see a 3-hour movie twice within a day. All right, guys, and finally on Sunday, for the first time ever, there will be a World Cup halftime show. It is going to feature Madonna, Shakira, BTS, whoever that is, and Justin Bieber. I gotta know the star of the show will be blank. Adam Abdalla.
I mean, is there any question? It's Shakira. I mean, come on, those hips do not lie.
Okay.
It's a song.
Hey, how are you?
It's the song.
Okay. All right.
It's the song.
Yes.
The shoulder shake as he was saying it was incredible.
Can I go with Zlatan? Is he a part of the halftime show?
Ain't nobody watching Zlatan when Shakira's out there.
Vote Biebs. You want to vote the Biebs, Black. Just vote for Biebs.
Sure, why not?
I'm ready.
But yeah, go ahead.
Should I go for it?
Yeah.
What's up, Toronto?
Yeah.
They booing him?
No, it was kind of. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. I don't know why Justin Bieber announced I know he's a Maple Leafs fan, but it was weird the way that worked. Yeah, I have zero interest in the World Cup halftime show. Zero interest. Now, do you remember, Abdalla? What was the last big soccer event that took place with? Was it Copa America that took place? And the halftime show was like up in the stands. Do you
Yeah,
remember
it was
that?
weird. Yeah. Because I don't
Raj,
think
have
they
you
wanted
ever
to
seen
ruin the
video of
pitch.
this?
I have not.
So like they don't want to wheel things out onto the field in the middle of the match. So they had, I think it was Coldplay.
Yeah.
Coldplay was
That sounds right.
performing at the top of MetLife Stadium in the like stands. They like built out a structure in the middle of the seats. And so the halftime
speaking of
show
that,
was
Chris Martin is the one curating this World Cup final halftime show, whatever that means when you're curating a halftime show.
So I have no interest in this.
Yeah, no,
Give me Rebecca Lowe and Zlatan and some soccer coverage. That's all I care about there.
You guys are the worst. That does it today for Fill in the Blank.
Raj, your lack of respect for Rebecca Lowe, that's the worst.
How dare you?
That is not right.
I may watch the
not right.
halftime show on Sunday. I don't know if I'll watch the rest of the middle school activity, but I will check out some
How
Shakira.
dare you?
Unreal. It's unreal. Thank you, Raj. There you go. Fill in the
Thanks,
blank on a
fellas.
Friday. It's good stuff. Love it. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We continue with 32 questions in 32 days. San Francisco is up next. Mike Evans is now a wide receiver for the 49ers. Will that put the 49ers over the top in the NFC West? We'll address that coming up next. When you speed while driving, you have less time to react to whatever comes across your path. A sharp turn could take you by surprise, causing you to veer off the road. Another car could turn out in front of you, leading to a fender bender.
A truck could brake suddenly, injuring you and the other driver. A cyclist could enter the road ahead, and your impact could send them to the hospital. A pedestrian could be walking their dog, and your foot on the gas might lead to a tragedy.
You may not think that any of these things could happen to you, but you won't see them until they happen. When you're speeding, you don't have time to course correct. You don't have time to stop.
And it only takes an instant for disaster to strike. The speed limit isn't just there to protect you, it's there to protect your passengers, other drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, and everyone sharing the road.
So slow down, obey the law, and help keep everyone around you safe.
Speeding catches up with you, paid for by NHTSA.
The NFL is almost here. Training camps open on Wednesday with the Cardinals and Panthers. The countdown to kickoff is on your home for the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Here on the show, we continue to count down the days until we get to the start of NFL training camps next week. Carolina and Arizona will report on the 22nd of July, and then everyone in the NFL will be in camp by the time we get to the 28th. So it's right around the corner. We have a segment here on the show called 32 Questions in 32 Days. Now it's time for the San Francisco 49ers.
32 questions in 32 days. Bleck and Abdalla discuss every NFL team's biggest question heading into training camp. Today's team, the San Francisco 49ers.
3rd and goal. Purdy, pressure, steps up. Oh, touchdown, San Francisco. It's McCaffrey.
Today's question, does Mike Evans give Brock Purdy enough firepower with George Kittle recovering and Brandon Ayuk exiting?
So I love Mike Evans joining the 49ers. I think Mike Evans is going to be a major difference in the division, in the conference. And I have the 49ers as of today being a playoff team. And they're in a very tough division that we saw last year get 3 teams into the playoffs. 1 team win the Super Bowl. Another team in the offseason traded for Myles Garrett. So you're talking about the best division in football. Oh, and also the Cardinals are there. They're in the background. But 49ers, Seahawks, and Rams make up the 3 best teams out of any division in football. And I think San Francisco with Mike Evans gives Brock Purdy that great number 1 wide receiver who can still play at the highest level. And I think the 49ers will be improved. I think they're a playoff team coming up this season.
Yes. No, I disagree with you.
Great. Fantastic. No.
I disagree with you because, look, George Kittle wants to come back week 1. He's coming off of a torn Achilles. So can he be ready for week 1? We'll see. But coming off of a torn Achilles is always, we'll see how he responds to returning from that. Mike Evans played in 8 games last year. The 49ers are one of the teams where you can say, well, we'll see if they're healthy. And everybody goes, well, that's with every team. No, the 49ers, you have to say if they can stay healthy because everyone on their team struggles to stay healthy. Okay. And adding a 32-year-old Mike Evans who only played in 8 games last year, to me, is a great addition for as long as he can stay healthy. And this is a team that is going to be traveling more than any other team in the NFL by a lot of miles. Like, it's not just by like 100 miles, it's by a lot of miles. So I don't like this team to make the playoffs. I think they can be competitive in the division. I just think the combination of having an older team with George Kittle and Mike Evans and an injured team with George Kittle and Mike Evans and Christian McCaffrey, how much is he going to play? He's got a lot of, miles on that, and he's recovering from injury as well. How much is he going to be able to play, and how long can he stay healthy? You got a lot of dudes that are traditionally banged up on this team. And so it's a lot of question marks of how long can these guys stay on the field. And look, if they can stay healthy for the entire season, absolutely, I would put them into the playoffs. I just don't know. And I want to see it before I put them into the playoffs. And I just don't know if they can do it right now. And the odds would tell me, or the history would tell me that they can't. So I'm going to say that they wouldn't be able to. And I'm going to go with that. And when the schedule came out, I wrote them off immediately because of the amount of travel that this team is going to have to do.
Oh, you hate them.
I don't hate them.
So
I don't. It's a tough. Well, it's also the tough division. Look, if this was a team and they were in a much weaker division, and this was a 49ers with this stacked of a team in a much weaker division, I'd be like, look, the travel's not an issue. They're going to beat the crap out of everybody. It's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, I just think, looking at the way the division is, I also am kind of looking at Seattle to take a step back. Mm-hmm. And so I get your concerns with the San Francisco 49ers. I think eventually they're going to break through, though. And it's not necessarily contingent on Kittle being healthy. I mean, Brandon Ayuk, they got nothing from Brandon Ayuk last year anyway. Yeah. And Brandon Ayuk, is he still releasing Instagram videos?
I didn't even mention Ayuk. That was in the question, but I didn't even mention him.
Big voice guy mentioned him.
Voice guy can mention him all he wants.
I think he's there, and the 49ers in that situation don't have to do anything. The moment he doesn't show up to camp, they can start fining him $50,000 a day. So, I think when you look at the 49ers outlook, I think Mike Evans makes that big of a difference. And so I've got the 49ers getting to the playoffs. I think that they're going to have a great season this upcoming season. The 49ers report to training camp on July 25th. So it's right around the corner. And we will continue talking football here on the show. We have one more 32 questions in 32 days. Houston will come up in the next hour. And then also we have the summer of football, Abdalla, where we will ask the question, how many first-round picks would you trade for Josh Allen? Think about it. If your team, how many first-round picks would you give up for Josh Allen? We'll talk about that next. The summer of football is coming up right here on Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, live from Chicago each and every day on the air until 3 Eastern, and then we'll hand it off to Jim Rome right here on Westwood One Sports. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. Big sports weekend, Abdalla, with the World Cup final coming at you on Sunday. Spain and Argentina. Can't wait for that match. See if Messi can add to his legacy. That's really what the match, this final match of the World Cup is all about, is the story of Messi, what he's been able to do to this point. And then also, this is likely to be his final World Cup match. He hasn't officially ruled out anything. He's 39. It's not like he has the most athletic game.
Yeah.
But one would conclude that this is probably the end, especially if they win. I'm guessing that's the end of Messi on the World Cup stage for his career.
Well, look, I mean, I can't even say he flirted with it. He retired 10 years ago.
That's why I'm saying.
He announced his retirement 10 years ago. Now, that was more out of frustration than anything. Like, he missed a penalty kick in the Copa America final against Chile. And this is after losing in multiple World Cups and in the Copa America final. He was upset with Argentinian soccer at the time. And like a few months later, he decided, no, I'm coming back. My love for the country, whatever. Point is, and then he's back. And then he went on. They won 4 years ago. And now there's been a lot of talk this World Cup about FIFA trying to get Messi and Argentina into this final.
Yep.
And the win against Egypt, all those 3 goals counted. But their route to get those 3 goals can be called into question.
I love conspiracy theorist Abdalla showing up.
And this not letting Egypt have a couple goals is also in question. Sending off a player against the Swiss, in question.
Yep.
Right? Their win against England was clean. You can't deny that. You can't say that it wasn't clean. They came from behind against England. It was clean. Now, I'm not going to say that going into this match, I'm not doubting that FIFA wouldn't love anything more in the world than to send Messi out with a World Cup win. And he announces his retirement and puts out a statement as soon as the World Cup is over. Thank you for everything. Thank you to Argentina. I'm done with international play. I'm going back to the MLS, and I'm going to continue playing with Inter Miami. I'll be back in a month after I rest up or whatever, right? Because that's usually what all these players do. They rest up for a few weeks to a month, and then they go back to their clubs.
It's what Christian Pulisic is doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just twisted my ankle and sprained my ankle. I mean, it's just frustrating to end like that, of course.
Yeah, frustrating,
But
it's tough.
Now time to rest. So
time to rest.
It'll be okay.
So it'll be okay.
Little bit of a difference.
Time to rest.
Little bit of a difference.
So it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
The Argentinians
it's time to rest. It's nap time.
Little bit of a difference.
So it'll be okay.
It'll be okay.
Little bit of a difference
thank you, Christian.
with
Thank you.
Captain
Messi
America and Captain America.
Yeah. Well, one's great.
Yeah.
One is not.
Also, a little bit of a difference in the teams that Argentina is facing. Spain is a much better team than England. They are a defensive juggernaut. They are a boa constrictor of defense, and they will not make the same mistakes that France did that England did against Argentina. If they go up 1 goal, they will. If they can park the bus, they will. If they go up 2 goals, that might be it. That's all that they need. You know, if they go up 1 goal, they're still going to look to score. They're not going to make the same mistakes, but they have only given up 1 goal so far in this entire tournament. They would set a record if they beat Argentina and don't give up a goal as giving up the least amount of goals in the entire World Cup. And they've played more games because there's more teams in an extra round in this tournament, which is crazy. They are such a good team in Spain that it would be, we've talked so much about Argentina that this Spain team is historically good. And we haven't spent like any time talking. I mean, we have talked about them, but we haven't spent as much time talking about them just because Argentina has come back in such incredible fashion every single time that they're getting a ton of shine. It's just like, remember, Spain's really damn good and a heavy favorite for a reason.
Yeah, so the World Cup, Sunday, 3 Eastern, Argentina and Spain. Here on Bleck Abdalla, we also continue talking NFL football. It's the summer of football on Bleck Abdalla.
I proclaim this the summer of football!
What the hell's going on out here? We're going to be here all day, baby! I like this kind of party.
Only Brett Favre could do that. I don't care what you say.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
We need the National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots.
The summer of football with Bleck and Abdalla.
I throw, you catch. It's not that hard, okay?
Westwood One, your home for the NFL. Every big game throughout the season you can hear on Westwood One. Summer of football, counting down the days to the first game of the NFL season, day 54. We are on day 54 of the countdown as we head towards the start of the NFL season. Today, for the summer of football, here's the feature on ESPN.com. Bill Barnwell wrote a trade value article talking about how many first-round picks it would take to trade for the best quarterbacks around football. So when we start this conversation, Abdalla, I said to you about 5 minutes ago, Josh Allen, how many first-round picks would it take to land Josh Allen? Now, there's different categories for this, and Bill Barnwell is saying that there are 2 players that would meet the criteria for 7 first-round picks. One of those players would be Josh Allen. The other would be Patrick Mahomes. That Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen would be the only 2 players in the NFL that if a team was trying to trade for them, it would take 7 first-round picks to get that done.
I don't know about 7. You're telling me that you would give up your first-round pick for 7 years for Josh Allen? Now, mind you, Josh Allen is 30 years old. Like, you give up 7 first-round picks for, like, if you truly believe that Drake May is an MVP caliber quarterback and is the guy because of his age.
Yeah.
That's where you give up 7 first-round picks because you're not going to have a first-round pick for 7 years. Josh Allen is 30. And I understand he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now, 1A, 1B to Patrick Mahomes. However, the way he plays, and I understand he's durable, he's thick, he's, you know.
He's what?
He's
Whoa.
thick. Listen, he's not frail. He's not Jaden Daniels out there.
He's thick.
He's not frail. He's puts himself, but he takes a lot of hits. He runs the ball. He puts himself into danger a lot. You know what I mean?
He's thick.
I couldn't think of a better way to say that.
Yeah, no.
I love the NFL.
Yeah, thank you, Bart Scott. Yes. Love the NFL. Yes. He's thick.
But again, the way he plays at 30, he's 1 hit away. And I understand every quarterback is 1 hit away. But the way he plays, 7 is a lot of picks. That's 7 years from now.
I mean, yes. It's also a part of the exercise,
I understand
right? Because my response to all of these quarterbacks that we will list here, my response would be, how much greater is that quarterback than someone you can get that's almost as good without having to give up all those picks? Like, I would rather have all the picks and a quarterback that is like 80% of Josh Allen, but I also get to keep my 7 first-round picks. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, that's the way I'll process it. So, like, it's more or less like a way to look at the rankings of these quarterbacks, that Mahomes and Josh Allen are number 1 and number 2, 7 first-rounders. Now, when you say, are there any quarterbacks in the NFL that Bill Barnwell would suggest you could trade 6 first-round picks for? And there's one guy on the list, and that's Drake May. That, to me, is surprising.
See, I think it's a little early for Drake May. I need to see it again in order to put this out there, because I understand that when you dig into all the numbers, and that's what we were arguing last year when we were arguing, who is the MVP? Is it Matthew Stafford or is it Drake May? We were arguing, well, look at the numbers. If you just go on if you go on touchdowns and sacks and yards, Matthew Stafford. But if you dig into all the nerd numbers, it's Drake May. Okay, well, the dude got sacked more than any other quarterback, and the dude was doing this. And if you want to get into nerd numbers, he faced the easiest defenses in the NFL. Like, he just did. So I need to see it again against tougher competition, because to give up, again, like you said, age is the factor, though. So 6, I can live with the age because I know he's much younger than Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes at 30 years old, but Drake May is much younger than that, so I know he's going to be around for a much longer time.
There are 3 quarterbacks that Bill Barnwell lists as players who you could move 4 first-round picks for.
We skipped 5?
There are no 5.
There are no
But
5s?
4 first-rounders. You get Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Caleb Williams. Now, if Drake May was a part of that group, that to me would make more sense. Because I don't think Drake May, even though he had an MVP-like season last year, I don't place Drake May so far ahead of the other contemporary quarterbacks of his class, like the other young guys, even some guys who are a little bit older than him, like Trevor Lawrence, for example. Like, I think Drake May is going to be great. I don't know if Drake May is necessarily better than Lawrence or Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels or any of these guys. I just think that last season, Drake May had the best season.
See, 4 first-round draft picks is good. And, like, the cutoff is good right there, especially for Joe Burrow. And, like, obviously, that's, like, a realistic thing. So, Joe Burrow being 29 years old, and this could be a realistic situation that we see in the coming season here, that if he is not protected and the Bengals don't make the playoffs or have a letdown season, that maybe he feels like this is as far as he can go with the Bengals and wants to see how he can do somewhere else. Maybe he asks out of Cincinnati, and you have a situation where we're talking about how many first-round picks can the Bengals get for Joe Burrow. And as a 29-year-old, he'll be 30 into the season. His birthday's in December, so he will be in that 30 group. So I would give up 4 first-round picks for Joe Burrow, because we're seeing some of these quarterbacks can play into their 30s, and I would give up 4 years of first-round picks for Joe Burrow.
Okay, so if you're the Bengals, if you're the Chicago Bears, if you're the Chargers in Los Angeles, how many first-round picks would you need in return if you were trading that player? Like, I don't know if I would move Caleb Williams for anything less than like 6 first-rounders.
God.
But that's not necessarily saying that he's better than those other quarterbacks. That's just also pointing to how desperate Bears fans have been to land a franchise quarterback. Like the Bengals, that might be a harsh reality in the next couple of years that Joe Burrow may want out.
Yeah.
So how many first-round picks would they need to move off of Joe Burrow? 5, 6 first-round picks? Like, I feel like those type of players are the type of players that don't get moved because of that, or they go on their own. Now, Stafford in Detroit, that's different. I feel like Stafford's gotten better since he's left.
Yeah.
So even though he is great now, an MVP, right? He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. I think that's all picked up since he's been with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, he was great. I'm not saying he wasn't great with the Lions. He had all the stats to go with it, but like I feel like Stafford's taken it to a new level in the last couple of years. Like, if he was playing the way he has the last couple of seasons with Detroit, I don't think he ever gets traded.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting.
Does that make sense?
It'll be interesting to see what a package would be for one of these. Like, let's say Joe Burrow is on the market. Since you can only trade 3 years into the future, what combination of picks would it be worth? Like, because it's obviously going to be 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
And then what else? 2 seconds?
Right.
A couple thirds? Like, how do you equal the value of, let's say, 4 or 5 first-round picks by adding all those up to equal that amount? Because you can only trade so many years into the future because that rule that the Browns and the Rams were working on, where you could trade 5 years into the future, never actually came to fruition. To see if maybe you could do something like that never actually happened this year, which I would have loved to. That would have been awesome, because we could actually have these conversations instead of just 3 years. And again, like as a Bears fan here, as we broadcast out of Chicago, that's a lot of picks. And there's so many quarterbacks in the future that we haven't even seen yet that could end up being better than Caleb Williams, that could be as good as Caleb Williams. But we don't even know what the ceiling of Caleb Williams can be yet.
Yeah, it's a good article. Find it on ESPN.com. Bill Barnwell, NFL trade tiers, players worth first-round picks by teams. And he has 7 first-round picks for Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. It's day 54 of the summer of football here on Bleck and Abdalla. So we're 54 days away from the start of the NFL season. Man. Coming up next, we have the conclusion to the World Cup of Soup. That's right. Abdalla will select a champion of the World Cup of Soup, and that is coming up next. International soccer is down to its final matches. DraftKings has you covered for every single one.
The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. New DraftKings customers sign up with code BNA26 and spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days.
That's code BNA26 for Bleck and Abdalla 26. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings. Predictions involve risks of loss. Availability varies. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get $50 in prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Issued every 7 days via click to claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
The world's biggest sporting event comes down to one match, and it's on America's soil. After a month of drama, only 2 countries remain with the World Cup championship at stake. Spain, Argentina. The final is Sunday afternoon. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
You know, you have a lot of choices in life, different shows, different podcasts, different TV shows that you can watch. And, you know, everyone's going to talk some sports. People are going to break down the soccer, the World Cup. But there's only one show in America that will give to you something like the World Cup of Soup. That's right. For the last month plus, we have been featuring soups to go along with our World Cup conversation. It's a segment we love to call here on the show, the World Cup of Soup.
No soup for you.
Bleck and Abdalla's World Cup of Soup.
Soup is good food.
And today we get the exciting conclusion as Abdalla will crown a champion for the World Cup of Soup. We have the third place game tomorrow in the World Cup.
Oh, in the actual World Cup.
Yes. And then the final is on Sunday. So today is our last show before the final of the World Cup. So today we will crown the champion of the World Cup of Soup. Abdalla, why don't you take us through how this started up, how many soups you taste tested, and how we got going here on the show with the World Cup of Soup.
Well, it feels like a month ago almost, and it actually was about a month ago when we started to journey through the World Cup as the group stage started. And for each group, I selected a country from the group and would try a soup from that country that was native to that country. And I journeyed all over the world, Chris.
Oh, yes, you did.
From Ecuador to South Korea to Japan to Colombia to France to Jordan.
It really was
to Ghana.
Our own version of a James Bond film.
Absolutely.
You know, like a James Bond film, he is in 6 different continents.
Yeah.
He's going from here and there. He's supersonic jets, all this stuff.
Place. All over the place.
Just to collect these soups.
Yeah. And I tried some food I've never had before. I tried some food from some countries I've never been to before. Tried some new restaurants around this great city of Chicago that's known for its great food. Been to some neighborhoods I've never been to before.
That's right.
Which is great.
That's right, New York. That's what we're saying.
That's great, New York.
Best food city in the world.
Yeah.
Take that.
You're damn right. You're damn right it is. And so we whittled it down. We had 12 countries, one from each of the groups, from the 12 groups. We whittled it down. We started, after the group stage was over, we started this tournament, the World Cup of Soup, 12 nations, one broth to rule them all. We whittled it down to a final 4 of Ecuador, Ghana, Japan, and Colombia. Ecuador took on Ghana. Ecuador moved on. Japan took on Colombia. Japan moved on, and it came down to the matchup yesterday between Japan and Ecuador. Chris, and what a match.
What a match.
What a match between the encebollado, the fish stew. It had a ton of great stuff in it. It had avocado. It had onions in it. It had a ton, big chunks of fish in it. Japan, the beef udon noodles. These noodles, it soaked up the broth.
Oh, yeah.
Big chunks of beef.
You know what they
tons
said.
of flavor.
Yeah, the noodles and the chunks of tuna were on the front foot.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely great offense, great defense, tacticians, no one parking the
Sure.
bus.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Tuchel could learn a lot from how this match
Are you talking
played
about
out.
the English manager? Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
English fans crashing out yesterday.
Absolutely.
Got nothing left. I can't believe it, Jace. Jace, I can't believe it. It's a disgrace. He should be sacked. Get him out. Gone.
He should be sacked.
So as we came into the tournament,
Yes.
Chris, the encebollado from Ecuador was the #1 seed, my favorite soup
Number
of the
one seed.
tournament.
Yeah.
Japan, the darlings of the tournament, the Norway of the
Oh,
tournament,
yeah.
if you
Yes.
will.
Well, they're Japan.
The 6th seed. Well, yeah, but I'm comparing it to the World Cup.
Got
They
it.
were the 6th seed of the tournament. The udon noodle was much like an Erling Haaland, if you will.
Oh.
Marching his way through the tournament, gaining notoriety throughout the soup world,
Yes.
if you will. And now, if you head to our YouTube page right
Okay.
now,
Let's
youtube.com
do it. Let's log on.
@ Bleck and Abdalla, we will reveal
Okay,
the
the
winner
champion
of the World Cup of Soup is Japan.
Wow.
Japan,
How
the
about
champion
that?
of the World Cup
All
of
right.
Soup, the beef udon noodles
Wow.
from Japan. Shout out to Kai Sushi here in Chicago on Southport Avenue. Shout out.
Fantastic.
A great place.
Look at that.
A great champion in Japan, defying all the odds, beating the USA, beating South Korea,
Wow.
beating Colombia,
Look at
beating Ecuador, and they are your World Cup of Soup champion. They beat the 12 nations. They rule the broth world. And shout out to Japan. What a match from
Look at
them.
that.
If you want a picture of the udon noodles, I just put it up there along with the bracket on my Twitter account at Adam A. Abdalla. If
let
you
me
want a
give you-
picture of
I'm
that,
gonna give you a
right
retweet.
there. It's awesome. It's
gonna go
great.
give you
if
a
you want a
retweet.
picture of that, it's right there for you. And man, what a tournament. Shout out to everybody that participated on the subreddit and everybody that followed along. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. Bittersweet.
You can see it in the soup, the picture that you posted online. The noodles soaked up a lot of the broth.
Yeah, I mean the
lot
cup
of
that
the
that's
broth.
in, it's like a quart.
Yes.
So that's
There's
like
liquid in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's liquid in there somewhere, but it's like a quart, so it's rather a large cup of soup. It's more of a quart of soup.
Yes.
The world quart of soup, if
So
you
there
will.
you go. Japan wins the World Cup of Soup. How
Yeah.
about that?
Bleck and Abdalla's World Cup of Soup.
Soup is good food.
Wow.
And now I retire my cup and
How
my
about
spoon
that?
until we get, Chris, to the Super Bowl, where I can release the spoon once again.
For Super Week.
For Super Week.
Wow, look at that. That's amazing. Well done. Well done. The graphic looks great. You got the soups on there. You guys were using AI technology to come up with this bracket because
I finally figured it out, too.
yeah, some of the bracket looked terrible because of the AI, but
Yeah.
I think the
I think
final
it all
one,
worked out.
like I like it in the bracket. I like how there's like a part of the bracket that has two teams facing off against each other, but the bracket leads to nothing.
I know, yeah. It just goes nowhere.
Like, that's
Yeah.
what's great. It's like a dead end on the bracket.
It just goes to nowhere.
Which is fan.
Listen,
Raj,
man.
like, am I wrong on that? Like,
He's
it's
not.
hilarious.
He's not.
I like
So
how they're
Japan
like
was
the
a
two at the
six
bottom are
seed to begin.
connected for no reason. Like there's no
Exactly.
reason to connect the two.
Oh
like
my
it's just
gosh.
listen, man. This is why I'm not worried about certain AI taking over. Like some of it I'm worried about, like the humanoid robots, yes, worried about those. But like I'm not worried about being Chat GPT to death.
The tech billionaire bro dogs from Silicon Valley, they think that this is going to take over everything.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
Not worried
you can't
about
even
that.
make a stupid little bracket for
No,
soups.
absolutely not. And this took like
Right, I mean, like-
this took 1,000 prompts.
I read like think about
Just
the
to get to
amount of
this.
water that we wasted to come up with these graphics.
You wonder why it's smoky? You
Yeah.
wonder why it's 95 degrees in Chicago? Me.
So Abdalla, Japan was a 6th seed. Do I have that
Yeah.
correct? All right, so
Yes.
they are going to join fellow 6th seed champions, the 1995 Houston Rockets. the 2010 Green Bay Packers,
Wow.
and the 1988 Kansas Jayhawks. These are among 6 seeds that went on to win a championship that the Japan will now share with them as being the champion of the World Cup of Soup. Often these darlings go far, but they don't go all the way.
Yeah.
In this case, they went all the way.
We love a Cinderella story.
Raj, that's great research. That's
great
fantastic.
That is great research.
What a segment. Congratulations. Well done.
That's awesome. It's
I love
bittersweet.
That's great. It is bittersweet because on Monday there will no longer be soups to talk about here on the show.
No more soups till Super Week.
Guess we'll have to come up with something else
when
that's
we're in LA.
stupid to talk about here on the show.
I think we'll figure it out.
That
won't be
I think
hard.
we will. That is the one category that we are not lacking in is stupid things to do on the show.
Yeah.
That is what we do, and we do it. That's the best that we can get it done. So there we go. There's the champion. Japan wins the World Cup of Soup right here on Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Now it's time for a quick look around baseball presented by NHTSA. When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit. Keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
So we were talking about schedule releases and how LeBron James is holding up the schedule release of the NBA.
Yeah, he's having a me party.
Yeah. Well, yesterday, just out of nowhere, because baseball does this, they released their schedule. You got a little, if you follow your team, you got a little alert maybe to your little email to your inbox. Guess what?
Yep.
The schedule for next season is out. The 2027 MLB schedule has been released, and it's the earliest opening day ever. But guess what? It's probably not going to happen.
Oh, right.
Because the labor contract expires December 1st. If you go to ESPN.com today, actually, Jeff Passan has a lengthy story where he talked to a bunch of people around the All-Star break about how far apart the owners and the players are. And let me tell you,
close?
The gap is wide as it's ever been.
Yeah.
And so you have,
good luck.
You better get on this fast, Chris, because deadline is December 1st that the contract expires, and March 24th is when the season starts. And I'm guessing it's not going to be March 24th on Netflix for the season starting.
Okay. All right. So we got that in. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't look good. I'm guessing, there's going to be a lockout. But right now, let's enjoy the baseball while it's here.
Yeah.
And that's a quick look around baseball presented by NHTSA. When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit. Helps keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA. What I was going to say is, did you see and notice with the schedule release, they also announced the date and location for the All-Star game?
Yes, they did.
Chicago Cubs will be hosting the All-Star game July 13th. So Raj, are we putting this into the schedule, thinking ahead? We're way out in the future next
Way
summer.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Bleck and Abdalla, are we going to have a little home run derby party, maybe an All-Star recap party, something going on, a live broadcast? I don't know. We got to come up with something for the All-Star game here in Chicago.
I'll come out and Bleck, you and I can go. Abdalla will still be campaigning that they shouldn't be playing baseball right now, and he's already back.
Raj, I think you and I should shag fly balls in the outfield.
Easy, buddy.
Is that what they call it?
I will tell you this, guys. I would bet right now, Chris and I will be here. The All-Star game won't be.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that All-Star game at Wrigley will be played in 2028.
Oh, that's not right.
Because they just move it.
They move it back.
They move it back
because they don't start the season until
they move it back
middle of July.
Well, I know that people that if you're a season ticket holder for the Cubs, you could buy a package where you are guaranteed All-Star game tickets, and it says in there if there isn't an All-Star game, and your 2027 All-Star game tickets would move
rolls forward
to 2028.
It's kind of like when you buy playoff tickets.
Yeah,
and the team
exactly.
doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They roll the money towards the next season to get to the championship. I did want to mention this to you guys about baseball quickly. Did you guys see that? We talked here on the show about the numbers for the home run derby on Netflix. They were down.
Mm-hmm.
They were bad. Did you guys see the numbers for the All-Star game? The All-Star game on Fox actually did very well. 8.7 million people watched. The most watched All-Star game since 2018. In fact, it was up 21% compared to last season, which is surprising, right?
And it wasn't a good game. Yeah, it wasn't an entertaining game.
Yeah. Pitching, a lot of strikeouts, one home run, a couple of RBI hits.
Yeah.
But in some of the major stars who are pitchers didn't even pitch in the event. Shohei didn't play. So I'm surprised. I was surprised to see that 8.7 million people watched on Tuesday, the highest All-Star game rating for Fox since 2018.
I am very surprised by that, considering how boring it was.
Right. Like
it was very boring.
But I do feel like baseball is having a moment right now. And even if the ratings for the home run derby were lower, I do feel like people are invested in the storylines around Major League Baseball on the field. I don't think people are interested in hearing about the lockout stuff.
No, I know, which is why it's so important to get a deal done.
But with the Dodgers, you have Philly was a good host city for the All-Star game, and you have good players who are involved as well. You get good stories all over baseball. This is a good spot that baseball's in. It sucks that moving forward there's an impending lockout.
Yeah, because I think you could do irreparable damage to the sport if you miss an entire year. Irreparable damage.
Yeah,
because you'll lose an entire fan base if you miss an entire year of baseball.
Raj, do you have some World Cup of Soup merch that people can look at?
We do, yes.
For purchase?
I mean, no championship would be complete without the immediate look at the merch. And so,
congratulations, Japan! You just won the World Cup of Soup.
World Cup of Soup champions, which by the way,
hat too.
Yep, it's got the incorrect year on it, which I think is terrific. They also decided to put "We served, we won" at the bottom of the shirt.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it's a great collectible for anybody who wants to celebrate the World.
I love those commercials right after the championship, right after the trophy presentation. Congratulations, Japan! You just won.
Your team won. It's like
head to Fanatics right now.
It's clearly like voiced over because it's not like
they've got two ready, and it's like someone's sweating as to which one to hit.
Insert team here.
Yeah.
They won.
The best part is that
looks great. I think
the incorrect year, I think we know why it did it because it's AI. But if I was going to give it the benefit of the doubt, the fact that they made it a Fanatics Championship merchandise item with something incorrect would actually be really accurate. So
that's funny.
Depends on your perspective and your point of view.
I think that's the case. And also, Raj, those are the ones that get sent to places in Africa.
Yeah.
That you never see them again because they're botched. They're wrong. So they send them to other places around the world.
Yeah.
And then you randomly see someone wearing them one day and you're like, whoa, that's not the right thing.
They didn't win.
All right. That great work. There it is. Abdalla, order 2.
All right.
I think you should get a couple of these.
All right, I will.
Could you imagine if you could actually purchase a World Cup of Soup Championship t-shirt?
Awesome.
It would be awesome. we need to get that. That's great.
Print the shirts.
Thank you, Raj. That's fantastic. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We continue with 32 questions in 32 days. The Houston Texans are coming up next. Abdalla, when we look at the Houston Texans in their season, it really, to me, comes down to one player, CJ Stroud. Can he get back to his form that he had in his rookie season? We'll tell you that coming up next.
All-Star break is over, and baseball front offices are deciding buyer or seller. Is your team just a couple of moves away from a World Series run? As the August 3rd trade deadline approaches, the answers are coming into focus. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Check out our podcast on Apple and on Spotify. You can always like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, Bleck and Abdalla Show. That's where the live stream is broadcasted each and every day right here on Westwood One Sports. Thank you to Raj and Roy for producing today's show. Jim Rome coming up in 15 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. We continue to preview NFL teams as they head towards training camp. The first teams will report to camp on July 22nd. So it's right around the corner. Let's get to it. 32 questions in 32 days. It's now time for the Houston Texans.
32 questions in 32 days. Bleck and Abdalla discuss every NFL team's biggest question heading into training camp. Today's team, the Houston Texans.
Runs out of it, loses the ball, it's a scramble, and it's recovered in the end zone. Touchdown Texans on the takeaway. It's Will Anderson.
Today's question, can C.J. Stroud return to the level of his rookie season?
Abdalla, I don't think he can. I think what we saw from C.J. Stroud is a player that we don't have in the NFL anymore. And the performance that we saw from C.J. Stroud against the Patriots, he fumbled the football 7 times, 8 times. Every time he went back, the football is flying out of his hands. I don't think that C.J. Stroud can get back to that level.
So the problem with C.J. Stroud is, if you look at the numbers, last year he had his best completion percentage. He did have his worst yards. He had 1 less touchdown from the previous year in 2024. He actually cut his sacks in half. He went from 52 to 23. So that's a good number, right? His offensive line was garbage. And we know that. He had a Joe Burrow-esque Cincinnati Bengals do him no favors offensive line. And the Texans have done a few things to tweak things on the offensive line. And I'm not saying that it's all the offensive line's fault. Sacks can be, for the most part, like 90% of the time, a quarterback stat, right? And I think that we sometimes with CJ Stroud are too quick to say it's all his fault, right? It's all CJ Stroud. He continues to backslide. Where CJ Stroud at times last season had really good games. The problem is when they got to the playoffs, he had his worst games.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. And when in his rookie year, that's when he had his best games. So, and obviously, except for the one that they lost. So to me, it's a question of, can they all mesh together at the right time? Can you get your best offensive line play when you're getting your best CJ Stroud play? Can he return to form that he did his rookie year when and if they return to the playoffs? And that's what will get him his next contract with the Texans.
Yeah, and I think the way that Houston is playing this is, right, they want him to prove it because, why would you give him the contract extension after what you've seen the last couple of seasons? So you franchise him, he proves it, then he will be worthy of the contract moving forward. But right now, I wouldn't go with that. And I get it. Like, you can't just automatically find a new quarterback, right? Like there are many teams who are still searching. Ask the Jets. They're searching for a quarterback. Stroud is good enough to get them to the playoffs. He's not good enough to win a Super Bowl with the Texans. That's solidified in my mind. I would love to see him improve and for Houston to be better, but in reality, their defense is going to carry the day, and you just have to hope that CJ Stroud doesn't mess up enough to knock you out of the playoffs.
Yes, that's correct. I agree with you. I just think that he needs a better offensive line, and they need to play better in key moments like during the playoffs and in crunch time of games. And look, he needs to learn to protect the football better. Like, he had a horrible time. We saw it. It was on display during the playoffs for everybody to see. If he holds on to the football, that is a championship-ready defense that they added to in the draft, that it got that much better. Right? And that defense is ready to carry them to a Super Bowl. CJ Stroud has to be the one that actually gets them there, though.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. So there you go. 32 questions in 32 days. The Houston Texans will continue on next week right here on the show. I know. We're close. Training camp is almost here. A couple weeks ago, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler was the officiant of the wedding, right? There is new released audio from Adam Sandler when he was in Nantucket for the Taylor Swift wedding because he was looking for a place to play basketball. So what did Adam Sandler do? We know he's a hoops guy, right? Like, he's all
Loves
about ball.
Loves ball.
Loves playing ball. Adam Sandler, and so the story got out that he called the police asking about where to play basketball, right? Because isn't that what you would do if you're looking?
I love that. 911, what's your emergency? I need to ball.
I need to play ball, man.
I need to ball right now.
So someone found out that was something that took place. So a journalist, what is it called when you can
Freedom of Information
There
Act.
you go. They pulled one of those to the police station to get the audio.
That's hilarious.
So the audio is now out. Here's Adam Sandler calling the police asking if there's a place to play basketball.
July 5, 2026, 17, 36, 52.
Nantucket Public Safety, this line is recorded.
Hi, how are you? I'm visiting your island right now, and I was wondering if you could answer a question. I like to play basketball. Is there any outdoor courts where people play?
Off the top of my head, there's only one I can think of that's outside, and I'm not even sure if it's available to the public right now, but it's behind the Muse on Bacchus Lane.
Okay, thank you. I'll check it out.
All right, you're welcome. All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
There it is.
That's where he went. If that's where he went, I don't know if that's exactly where he ended up. He ended up playing with some kids, right? He ended up playing basketball with some kids.
I think so, yeah.
If that's where he ended up. I know he ended up playing basketball with some people. I believe they were like some teenagers he ended up playing basketball with, but that's hilarious that he just called the police.
Well, and also, not that it's really a surprise, because I feel like every story that's out there about Adam Sandler is a story where he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And like, I appreciate that superstar famous comedian didn't say, hey, this is Adam Sandler. Can you find me a place to play basketball?
Yeah. Well, first of all, they wouldn't have believed him.
Well, maybe, but he didn't use his celebrity status he just asked his question. He had a question. He just wanted the information, and that's it.
Here's what he also didn't do. He also didn't say, find me a basketball court.
Right. He asked if there's a place that people can play.
No, he didn't have someone else do it.
Well, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
He didn't have a publicist or an agent or someone, because usually all these celebrities are walking around with people, right? You always see
a helper
with these people. And usually the celebrities are always just looking down on their phone or whatever, just meandering about through the world. And the helper is always with them. Adam Sandler is just a dude going about his life.
He just wants to play basketball, man.
He just wants to ball, and he's driving around, and he's just like, you know who I should probably call? I should probably call the non-emergency police. I bet you he called 911 first, and he's like, can you connect me to the non-emergency police? And they were like, sure.
Well, hopefully he knew to dial 311 instead of dialing 911.
Maybe.
I mean, but like, I think it's great. I think that's fantastic. And also, he got the information instead of like telling the person on the other side of the phone to be like, can you give me the directions? Yeah. He's like, okay, cool. I'll look into that.
I'll put it in my phone.
Great,
yeah.
Awesome. Hey, all right. So how about that?
That's great.
He balls, man. He's looking to play ball. That's all that matters in life. He's a hooper.
I love that.
Isn't that great?
Find someone that loves ball that much.
It's great. That's fantastic. So there you go. There's Adam Sandler trying to find a place to play basketball. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show's coming up next.
This is Westwood One Sports.